Welcome to the Unity BootCamp lesson on requesting a leaderboard. In this lesson, we're going to use the Get Global Leaderboard page request that we looked at in the previous lesson. This time, we're going to make the request in the Unity example game and display the leaderboard entries to the user. Taking a look at the API reference, this request takes in 4 parameters: the leaderboard ID, the sort order, and the start and end indexes. Click the JSON response to familiarize yourself with the data that the request will return. Navigate into Unity. We need to create 3 classes to make managing the leaderboard data simpler. Right-click on the Scripts folder and select Create C# script. Name the script Leaderboard Entry. Double-click the script to open it. This class will represent the data of a single leaderboard entry object. Delete the generated start and update methods. Then delete the class inherits from monoBehavior. Declare 4 private member variables, one for the nickname, time, and rank. The last one is so that we can know if the leaderboard entry is the player's score or not. Declare a public constructor to initialize the member variables. Then declare a property for each of the member variables. Save the file, then navigate back into Unity. In Unity, right-click on the Scripts tab and select Create C# script. Name the script Leaderboard. Double-click the script to open it. This class will be responsible for managing the leaderboard entries of a single leaderboard object. Delete the generated start and update methods. Then delete the class inherits from monoBehavior. Declare a private member variable of type string to represent the leaderboard's name. Then declare another private member variable, this one of type list of leaderboard entry objects. Declare a public constructor to initialize the leaderboard class's member variables. Declare a public method called getLeaderboardEntryAtIndex. In the body of the method, safety check the index parameter. If the index is valid, return the object for the index in the leaderboard entries list. If the index is not valid, return null. Declare a public method called getCount. This method simply returns the number of elements in the leaderboard entries list. Declare a public getter property for the leaderboard's name. Save the file, then navigate back into Unity. In Unity, we need to create one last class. Right-click on the Scripts tab and select Create C# script. Name the script Leaderboards Manager. Double-click the script to open it. This class will manage multiple leaderboard objects. This class may seem superfluous now, but it will become useful in future lessons when we implement additional leaderboards. Delete the generated start and update methods. Declare a public static variable of type Leaderboards Manager called Shared Instance. This variable will be used to easily access the instance of the Leaderboards Manager. Declare a private member variable of type list of leaderboard objects. Then declare a private member variable of type float called musertime. Declare a private method called awake. In the body of the method, set the shared instance static variable to this, and then create a list of leaderboard objects. Declare a public method called addLeaderboard. In the body, if the user time is set, i.e. it's greater than 0, loop through the leaderboard entries in the leaderboard, and compare each time to the user time member variable. If one of the entries matches the user's time, then set that leaderboard entries is user score flag to true. Next, remove any leaderboard objects that have the same name as the leaderboard parameter from the leaderboards list. Finally, add the leaderboard parameter to the list of leaderboard objects. Declare a public method called getLeaderboard by name. This method will loop through all the leaderboard objects in the leaderboards list and compare the name parameter to the name of each leaderboard object. If one of them is a match, then the leaderboard object is returned. If there isn't a match, then null is returned instead. Declare a public method called getCount. This method returns the number of elements in the list of leaderboard objects. Finally, implement a method called setUserTime. In this method, we do a conversion here to milliseconds, then back to seconds. Here's some insight on why we're doing it like this. The times that we get are stored on the server as a long. So before we send the score off when we post a score, we convert the time from a float in seconds to a long in milliseconds. Then, when we get the score back from the server, we convert the score from milliseconds back to seconds. In this method, we're doing the same conversion so that when we're comparing the user's time with the times we get from the server, our comparisons are accurate. Save the file, then navigate back into Unity. In Unity, right-click on the active scene and create an empty game object. Name the object Leaderboards Manager. Then on the right, click Add Component. Add the Leaderboards Manager script to the object. Save the scene, then open up Visual Studio. Navigate to the constant script. I like to keep all my constants together in one file. Let's add some constants for the brainCloud leaderboards. First, declare a constant for the main leaderboard ID. Then declare a pair of constants for the indexes used when making the leaderboard page request. We'll leave 0 to 9 as the indexes. Save the file, then navigate to the network script. Declare a pair of public delegates that will be used to handle a leaderboard page request. Scroll down to the bottom. Declare a public method called requestLeaderboard. This method takes in the leaderboard ID, the start and end page index, and the callback delegates that we just declared. In the body of the method, we're going to check to see if the user is authenticated. If the user is not authenticated, we'll log in a meaningful error message, and if set, we'll invoke the failed callback delegate. If the user is authenticated, declare a success callback lambda. It will be invoked on a successful get global leaderboard page request. In the body of the lambda, log the response data. Then create a JSON object to parse the response data. From the JSON data object, get the leaderboard JSON array. Declare a list of leaderboard entry objects, and after that, declare some local variables. Loop through all the elements in the leaderboard JSON array. Parse the rank, then parse the data object to get the nickname. Parse the score and convert it from milliseconds to seconds. Store the result in the time local variable. Create and push a new leaderboard entry object onto the list of leaderboard entry objects. Once all the leaderboard entries have been parsed, create a leaderboard object. If set, invoke the success callback lambda. Pass in the leaderboard object as the argument. Declare failure callback lambda. It will be invoked on a failed get global leaderboard page request. In the body of the lambda, log an error along with the status message, and if set, invoke the failed callback delegate. Invoke brainCloud's leaderboard services get global leaderboard page request. Pass in the leaderboard ID, a high to low sort order, the start and end indexes, and the success and failure callback lambdas as the arguments. Next, we're going to declare an overloaded request leaderboard method. This method will only take in the leaderboard ID and the callback delegates as parameters. In the body of the method, we'll invoke the other request leaderboard method. Pass in the leaderboard ID and the constants for the start and end indexes and the callback delegates as the arguments. Save the file and navigate to the game class. Scroll to the bottom and declare a private method called onLeaderboardRequestCompleted. In the body, invoke the leaderboard's manager's addLeaderboard method. Pass in the leaderboard parameter as the argument. Then hide the connecting dialog and show the main menu. Scroll up and find the onAuthenticationRequestCompleted method. Delete the two statements that hide the connecting dialog and show the main menu. In their place, invoke the network's requestLeaderboard method. Pass in the main leaderboard ID constant and the onLeaderboardRequestCompleted method as the arguments. Save the file and navigate to the leaderboard ranking script. This class is responsible for displaying a single leaderboard entry to the user in the leaderboard dialog. Declare a public method called set. This method is responsible for setting the output text values for the leaderboard entries rank, nickname, and time. If the leaderboard entry is the user's time, we'll change the text color from white to green. Save the file and navigate to the leaderboard dialog script. This class is responsible for displaying a list of leaderboard entries to the user. In the onShow method, delete the to-do statement along with the resetLeaderboard data method. In their place, invoke the setLeaderboard data method. Pass in the main leaderboard ID constant as the argument. Scroll down to the setLeaderboard data method and delete the to-do statement. This method is responsible for resetting each leaderboard ranking object's output. After each object has been reset, get the leaderboard object for the leaderboard ID parameter. Loop through all the leaderboard entries and pass the data along to the respective leaderboard ranking object to set the output text. Save the file and navigate back into Unity. If you need to perform a manual refresh, do so now. Run the game. Click brainCloud, then click Leaderboards. The Leaderboards dialog will appear to be empty, and that's because we haven't posted any scores to it yet. Stop the game. Open your web browser. Navigate to the brainCloud portal. We're going to post a score using the Cloud Code API Explorer. After we authenticate, select the leaderboard service. Then select the Post Score to Leaderboard request. Enter the main leaderboard ID and then format the score that we want to post. Click Execute to make the request. Our score has been posted. Navigate back into Unity and run the game. Open the Leaderboards dialog and notice that it contains the score that we just posted. Posting a score to a leaderboard is the next lesson in the Unity Bootcamp.